and gentlemen, and work experience student, we're going to do habit 1, be proactive, the habit of personal responsibility, also known as I am the force, which also means you are the force. Okay, so on the worksheet, we're going to work in groups of 2 if you're with somebody. So speaking of the worksheet, it's going to look a little bit of something like this. No, that's not it. It's going to look like this. Worksheet, habit 1, be proactive. Find that on Google Classroom and do that. All right, let's keep moving though. All right, so let's review the 7 habits. Here's what the 7 habits look like. We're working on habit 1, be proactive. And habit 1, be proactive is part of the private victory. So you're going to do these first 3 things is like, this is your like character building. It's like how you build your strong roots so that you can go out in the public and do great things, right? So you can read this here if you would like. Okay, so the opposite of be proactive is be reactive. Blame everybody. Blame all your problems on your parents, on me, your friends, your other teachers, some other scapegoat. Take no responsibility for yourself or your education. As you can see, being like that, when we're talking about being proactive, it's not just talking about planning ahead. It's talking a lot about taking responsibility for yourself. Okay. So this habit is the beginning of your private victory. It is the key for unlocking all the other habits. And it says, I am the force. I am the captain of my own life. I can choose my own attitude. I am responsible for my own happiness or unhappiness. I am in the driver's seat of my own destiny. I am not a passenger. Okay. What does it mean to be proactive? Answer these in your worksheet. Describe a recent situation in which you were reactive. What did you say? Do you think, feel? What is a proactive? So answer these questions on the worksheet. All right, what's your response to this statement? All right, so this guy says to his dad, hey, Dad, my girlfriend makes me so mad sometimes. And the dad's like, no, come on, son. No one can make you mad unless you let them. It's your choice to be mad or not. Okay, so how would you respond to that? How would you respond to that? How about this one? Dad, my new math teacher stinks. I am never going to learn anything from him. And then the dad says, why don't you go to your teacher and give him some suggestions, change classes, get a tutor if you have to. If you don't learn, it's your own fault, not your teacher's. All right, what are your responses to these things? And your responses are going to tell you if you're naturally more proactive or reactive. So we're all on this continuum of being proactive or reactive. But where are you at on that thing? All right. And by the way, so this would be annoying, right? But it's also true. Okay, so you could, like, if somebody's making you mad, you have control over that to some extent, right? You don't have to be mad. Some things are irritating, right? But you don't have to get mad. Same thing here. This is actually kind of true, right? Like, some kids, like, so I try to be a good teacher, but some kids, like Mr. Miller, I just can't learn from you. It's like, yeah, I might not be your cup of tea, but you definitely can learn from me. Like if you dive in and try, you definitely can, right? So you can. It's not really up to me whether you learn or not. It's kind of up to you. So those are true because you are in control. All right, write this down. Fill this in your worksheet. Right. So fill in the red. Reactive people make choices based on impulse. They are like a can of soda. If life shakes them up, they can explode. Proactive people, on the other hand, make choices based on values. They think before they act. They recognize they can't control everything that happens to them, but they can control their reaction, what they do about it. Fill that in on the worksheet. All the stuff in red goes in the blanks. All right, so here's the deal. So what I'm trying to do is trying to help you to go from proactive to be, pardon me, I'm trying to get you to be more on the proactive side. So if you're more reactive, I want you to be more proactive. And so one of the things you can do is learn to use proactive language. And so we have some exercises this week where you're going to try to do that. Try to change what you say and what you think a little bit to be more proactive. All right, so what I want you to do is on the worksheet, I want you to circle everything that is proactive and cross out everything that's reactive. Okay, give that a shot. So make sure you get that done. All right, so the freedom to choose, you can stop and think before you act. So you have the freedom to choose. You can stop and think before you act. All right, let's go back to this. I can do that as proactive. I will do that right now. Proactive. I'm sorry, I did not mean that. Proactive. It's not my fault. Reactive. I'm sorry. Proactive. I can't. Reactive. Can we talk about this first? Proactive. Leave me alone, you jerk. It's none of your business. Reactive. That's unfair. Reactive. I did not see it that way. Thanks for letting me know. Proactive. Just so you know. Okay. Let's take a look at this video of Viktor Frankl.
Years ago, I was doing research in a library in Hawaii. While thumbing through a book, I came across an idea that changed my whole outlook. The author said something like this: between what happens to us, that is the stimulus, and our response is a space. In that space lies our power and our freedom to choose our response. And in those choices lie our growth and our happiness. This insight sunk deep into my heart. Even in the midst of challenging circumstances, we have this exhilarating power to choose how we will respond. For instance, the great Viktor Frankl, the Jewish Austrian psychiatrist imprisoned in the death camps of Nazi Germany during World War II, experienced unbelievable indignities and tortures. He was raised to believe that you are basically a product of your childhood. But while he was in the death camp, he began to observe some very interesting things. Different people reacted differently to the same circumstances. He himself experienced terrible things. Some of his own loved ones were killed. One day they stripped him, put him under lights, and performed experiments upon his body. At that lowest possible point, he discovered what he called the last human freedom, the power to choose your own response to any condition, to anything that happens to you. During his darkest moments, Frankl would visualize himself lecturing to his students in Austria following his release. He pictured himself teaching them about the very experiences he was having then. He came to believe that the most basic human capability of all is that between stimulus and response, man has the freedom to choose.
Okay, so what did Viktor Frankl say? See if you can remember any. Hopefully, the sound on that was good. I think the sound probably wasn't good. All right, so here's the deal. So if you're a reactive person, there's stimulus and you just respond to it. You freak out if something bad happens, right? But if you're a proactive person, like something bad can happen to you, and there's a space between your response. Like you think about it first, and then you calm yourself down, and then you respond the way you would like to respond. Okay, and Frankl said that's like the most basic thing. Like a dog, right? If you put food out for the dog's going to start salivating and he's going to eat the food, right? If the cat runs away, the dog's going to chase the cat, right? He can't really help it. He doesn't think about it. But a person has the ability to choose. Okay. So what are the 4 human tools? Answer that in your worksheet, and they are self-awareness, conscience, imagination, and willpower. So you can stand apart from yourself and observe your thoughts and actions. Like, oh man, I'm kind of yelling at this person that I'm working with because I'm kind of mad from something that somebody said yesterday. I can listen to my inner voice and know right from wrong. It's like, I shouldn't talk to that person that way. They have value, and I should treat them with respect, even though currently they're being disrespectful. Imagination. I can envision new possibilities. Like you can envision yourself the way you want to be, and you can envision the way you want to respond to things. And then your willpower. You have the power to choose. You don't have to be reactive. You can be proactive. So the idea is this. So you have your stimulus, and then you have your response, and you have that space between, and you can use the self-awareness. Like, okay, so somebody comes up to you in the McDonald's line and they're being super rude to you. It's like, so you examine yourself. It's like, oh, I feel like I can tell I'm getting kind of mad at this person, and like, oh, you know what? I'm like thinking like this person is a piece of garbage, right? And then you have your imagination. You can use your imagination. Like you can think to yourself, oh, you know what? I bet that I bet that person just got back from the doctor and got some bad news from the doctor. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, all of a sudden, it really changes how you treat them. Um, your conscience, your ability to sense right from wrong. It's like, same thing. Like, it's probably wrong for me to curse at that person. And then you can have your willpower, independent will. It's like you can choose your response. Anyway, so you have your stimulus and response, and between that is your ability to choose, and you have your unique human gifts to help guide you in that. All right. Answer these questions in the worksheet. Okay, so now in your worksheet, what I want you to do is write down things that you care about and have no control about. So, like for me, like I really care about voting rights and the things that are going on in Congress right now, and I have zero control about it. So I get mad about it, but then I have to think to myself, it's like, why am I worrying about this? Because I care about it, but I can't do anything about it other than vote. And then here's the things that you care about that you do have control about, right? Like for me, it's like, how are my kids doing? How am I doing, right? And so these are the things I should focus on because I can actually change them, right? So write down those things in the worksheet, okay? Um, so one of the things that you can totally control is your attitude, right? There's a lot of things that you can't control, but one of the things that you can control is your attitude and your response to things. Okay, so this is what we're going to do this week in our after we're done with the worksheet. We're going to actually pick some things that we're going to change, right? So identify something in your circle of no control that you're worrying about and decide to forget about it. That's going to be one of the things we're going to work on this week. And then one of the things is to identify something in your circle of control and make a plan to change it. All right, let's recap. Reactive people are easy offended. Proactive people not easily offended. Blame others, take responsibility. Get angry, say dumb stuff, think before they act to speak. Whine and complain, bounce back. Wait for things to happen to them, find ways to make things happen for them. Only change when they have to, and then proactive people focus on things they can do right now to become a better person. Okay, a proactive person will turn a setback into a triumph, like Viktor Frankl. He used his terrible experiences to become successful and mainly help others. Um, if you are proactive, you can turn bad things into opportunities to help others. One of the things, though, I want to just say about this is I'm not making light of things. So there are terrible things that happen. Is abuse that happens. Abuse sucks, and we're not going to make light of that. But if you're proactive, you're going to be better able to get through abuse and hopefully stop abuse. You could be a change agent and like change yourself, change your family, like stop bad things that are happening. Right? There's a lot of people who are born in poverty, a lot of people born with bad families, and they can use this to get over those things. All right, what to do now? All right, so here's what I want you guys to do. I want you to work on your journal. So let me show you what the journal looks like. The journal looks like this right here. So what you're going to do is you're going to go through the journal, and you're going to um, pick two of these things. You don't have to do all of them. So like if this is going to be helpful for you, do this one. If this one's going to be helpful, you do. So pick the ones you want to do, put an X through the ones that you're not going to do, and your job throughout the week is to try to pick some of these things and be better at it, right? So it's like work on things at work that you could be more proactive at. All right. Thanks, guys.